Just got off a 2-hour call with Blue Cross Blue Shield, fighting for them to cover my newborn son's hospital stay. He had to stay at Children's Hospital for 5 days to receive life-saving care when he was 2 weeks old. And man, I understand why that lady ended up in jail. Man, I get it. Just zero humanity, zero compassion, and all they could tell me to do is appeal it again. For the 4th time. God, I hate this country.
I don't care if I look crazy because I'm crying and my eyes are red. Just know I'm not a punk ass bitch. I'm just frustrated. I'm crying because I'm fucking frustrated, because I live in a country, United States of America, that's supposed to be this land of the free and home of the brave bullshit. And yet I cannot reach Blue Shield of fucking California to ask questions about why my prescriptions is not covered anymore, even though it says on my plan it's covered. And then every time I get transferred, someone says, well, let's just take down your number in case the call gets disconnected. Then the call gets disconnected and no one ever calls me back. Mind you, I'm paying close to $200 a month for this health insurance just so I can make sure I get these prescriptions covered. So I'm paying $200 a month, and if I don't pay, my policy lapse, then I can't get my prescriptions, right? But God forbid there's a new formulary, or the insurance just decided this month that they don't want to cover my medication anymore. So now I'm going back and forth with them. The pharmacy department is unreachable. And you finally reach someone in the pharmacy department. Then all of a sudden, an hour goes by that you're going back and forth with them because no one takes notes on the fucking calls. So every time you call, you have to re-explain what the fuck you're calling about. And then the call drops. And then they call you back. So then you call back and they say, actually, it's not the pharmacy department you need to talk to. It's the benefits department. What the fuck is going on? And every person that answers that goddamn phone over there, Blue Shield, doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And I'm not mad at them. I'm not, because they're just they just got hired. They're doing the job. I'm mad at the fact that a $1 billion company gets to play with my life like that, gets to play with my health like that. That one day I can be covered, I can be fine, I can be healthy, and the next day I could pretty much drop dead because of a decision some CEO in a top building makes for that company. And again, you may call it fucked up. I thought things would change after Luigi. I really thought things would change. I don't know why I thought that shit. But it didn't. They arrested that man, put him in jail, made him the villain, and then went back to their fucked up shit. So please, someone explain to me, Blue Shield of fucking California, why the fuck you don't have more people working in your offices? Why can't people reach you? Why don't you call people back when they need you? Free fucking Luigi.
Could someone tell me what I'm doing wrong? I have been applying for a minimum of 10 to 25 jobs every single day for the last 3 months. And I've been doing it consistently. I haven't even received a rejection letter. It says, thank you for applying, and then no word. There's no application status, there's nothing. My last real job, they fired me because I didn't want to take advantage of small business. I have gotten calls and stuff, and it's always, oh, you're overqualified. But then other jobs, I'm underqualified. What is it? I am very proud to be Thummel, by the way, but on my resume, I don't put my last name anymore because it is very traditional. And I don't even want that affecting my, if people are not going to even talk to me. And then on top of that, everything is expensive. I don't even want to do much with my money. I just want to be able to take care of my dog. Don't worry, I'm not going to cry on camera. But, okay, so I have a problem with being too honest, apparently. So I've been working on it by not speaking. I don't know what else to do. Do you know how embarrassing it is to move back to your family's house at the age of 26? I thank God every single day for not having a kid. A kid would obviously be a blessing, but I couldn't imagine what other people are going through with kids. The stupid thing about this is I hate crying, and I usually don't cry, but yeah, I don't know. I just want a job. I'm not saying I don't want free money. I want to work for it. I want a real job. I want a good job. It could be minimum wage. I forgot to tell this. I was offered a job 3 months ago, and the only reason I rejected it because it was all the way in the south. It was night shift, and I would be getting paid minimum. Or sorry, not minimum, $15.50. I literally lost my studio because I didn't want to pay $1.5 every single month. I haven't really lost hope, but I don't know, you're supposed to make connections, so if there's literally anyone who knows of a job, this is like one of my chances, so please just, I don't know, I have a good resume, I think. This is pathetic.
Wait. What the hell?
I went to the grocery store today, and let me tell you what I got. I got a dozen eggs. I got a little jar of sorghum, of molasses. I got 2 baking potatoes, a can of Pringles, and a little pack of fresh chicken wings. Not the family pack, just the little pack that has maybe 6 or 7 wings in it. The little pack. $27. $27. I don't know if it's cheaper for us to cook or for us to go out. I went out yesterday, and there's this little old Chinese buffet down the road. It's pretty good, actually. But I go all the time, or I did go all the time, and I hadn't been in quite a while. Well, I went there and got the same shit I usually get, and it's usually like $13, $14, and it was $22. So $22 for takeout Chinese, or $27 for a meal. Man, it's expensive right now. It's expensive to be alive. But I keep thinking, if eggs are 400% off, somebody owes me $12 or $13. Where do I go? Where do I go get my egg money back?
Actually watched a TikTok today, someone saying that these are $7 now. Hell no. How can... They are good though, but $7? No way. I'm so glad we've got someone actually working there that can get us a discount, because Macca's, no way. It's just so expensive now. I don't go out of my way to get Macca's anymore. By the way, I paid my car rego today. I'm broke.
Alright, I didn't get my fucking dips. So they're gonna hear it from me. I'll tell you that. Oh, they're gonna hear it from me because fucking dips. Sorry, I got some dips, but I didn't get them in the bag. It was the hot mustard, the queso, and the ketchup. Thank you so much.
Alright. You ordered me a McDouble, right?
Yes.
Does that look anything like the picture? Let's open her up. How small that patty is. Don't even stick outside the bun. First off, look how thin it is. What's that? Look how small that one is. It's even smaller. Come on, McDonald's. You gotta step your game up.
I'm touring apartments in Charlotte, and I'm quite literally flabbergasted at the price of these fucking apartments. Like, literally just 3 years ago, I was living in Buffalo, New York. Granted, it's Buffalo, New York, but still, in a loft-style apartment for $875 just 3 years ago. And these apartments are at least $2,200 a pop. I get it, like, you can maybe find a place that's like $1,400, but it's not going to be, like, it's just the comparison, right? Like, I was living in a loft-style apartment before for $875. And these apartments, that same kind of apartment right now, is damn near $2,200, $2,300, $2,400. I need to understand. And I just feel like they're building so many apartments. I get there's a lot of people moving to Charlotte, but I guess I'm making this because if there are any people in Charlotte who know of a place, because I feel like I'm missing something. There's got to be a place that's still good and cute and affordable. Like, is there any like real estate people on here, or anyone who has like a place that they recommend that I look at to tour? Please, SOS, help.
I'm at that age now. I'm only 21. I'm convinced to get a house, get in an apartment. Because why am I spending $2K a month for a 2-bedroom when I get a whole 3-bedroom or $2K for rent? Like, there's no way nowadays rent is more expensive in an apartment than an SFR house. Nowadays, the math is not even math no more. Back in my day, talking about the early 2000s, rent used to be $700, $800 for an apartment. I understand as time go by, everything started to increase. Not to the point where it started to get like this. It's no longer realistic anymore. And mind you, that $700, $800 for rent would be for a 2 and 3-bedroom. Like, I don't even know no more. Because the older I got and the more knowledge I have financially, I'd just rather stay in the house. I know some people right now that's paying $1,900 for a 1-bedroom. For an apartment. You could have might as well just got you in a condo. On top of that, you gotta pay water, gas, lights too. And then you probably got a car note to worry about. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. To me, I'm not, but still. Like, you do have some apartments that's affordable, but some of them low-key just be run down and located in areas you probably won't be comfortable in. Especially in Houston. I gotta keep in mind that this is reality, so on top of that, so I guess.
What is up with these new developers trying to get us to spend over $2K for a 1-bedroom apartment in Philly? I'm sorry to break it to you, Philly is not that type of city. We're not. No one who lives in Philly and is from Philly can actually justify spending that much money for a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, $1,700, maybe you're okay. $1,800, you're pushing it. But could be possible. And I see the type of people that these apartment complexes are trying to market themselves to, and even they can't justify spending that much money living in Philadelphia. And the gag is, all of these apartments are vacant. They can't fill them. And they offer these incentives like, oh, first 2 months free, first month is free. It still doesn't help that I would have to spend $2,000 for an apartment. And no, you don't get what you paid for. You don't. Bring down the prices and I promise you all those vacant spots will be filled.
I just got denied an apartment rental application because my rent to income ratio was too low. But how does that make sense when every job in this town pays around what I make and every apartment is around as expensive as that one? Like, what's a guy supposed to do? Am I fucked? Am I actually soft locked? I can't make more money. There are no cheaper apartments. That is the ratio. The ratio is set. If that's a deal breaker, I'm gonna be living in my car indefinitely. Like, so that's been my day.
I'm sorry, but and then if I want to go hot, you're telling me there's no hot water right now? Like that, and it's not even hot? Like, this is a luxury building. What's going on here? The rent is $2,800. Hello?
How much is rent where you live? Because apparently the average rent price in America is $2,000.
It only took me seeing one video on my For You page saying that the DMV housing market is going to crash and it's going to be a buyer's economy for me to start shopping on Zillow, picking out my house. First of all, I'm delusional. Second of all, please don't play with me. If y'all say I can buy a house, I will literally buy one tomorrow. Like, please don't play with me.
What up, Nashville? It's your boy, Brad Sativa. Hey, look, man, they getting disrespectful now. You see this? They charging over $7,000 to rent a house off of Lissy Ave. Off Lissy Ave? Do they not know the history of Lissy Ave? They must not be no Starlito fans. Do you know how many cocaine and shootouts that happened on Lissy Ave less than 10 years ago? And now y'all want us to rent a house for $7,000 a month? Y'all crazy. And these people had the audacity to say, schedule a tour. I'd rather do a tour in Vietnam before I pay $7,000 for a house that's off Lissy. And the type of people that's going to rent this, you know they're going to leave their windows open. They just going to be walking all around the house, windows open, you're going to see what's on their TV. Now y'all charging $7,000 off Lissy Ave just because y'all Airbnb failed. I tell you right now, only reason I'm able to afford where I stay at is because we got a dude that loves grapes that stay across the street. Like, he loves grapes so much that he had to register for it. And I stay in South Nashville. But we got $7,000 in rent? Man, y'all crazy, man. This your boy, Brad TV. You already know what it is. Bang, bang.
When are y'all gonna tell me that car insurance when you move to the city is so fucking expensive. Oh my god. Okay, so let me tell you all about it. Today I decided like, okay, I'm gonna spend today to get a bunch of stuff done for the move. Like go through my checklist of changing addresses, getting everything just done, like the little tedious shit. So then I was like, okay, I need to change like my car insurance. Like duh, I'm expecting it to go up. I'm paying like 124 right now. It's ridiculous, it's stupid, I hate it. But I'm like, okay, it's fine. 124 right now. I'm assuming it's going to go up, so I call them and I'm like, hey, I want to keep the same coverage and everything. And after we get everything done, the lady on the phone tells me that it's going to be $240 a month for car insurance. Am I getting fucked once a month as well? Like, what the hell? Oh my god. So I'm like, why is that? She's like, oh, well, some of it just, you know, different states, different requirements, different charges. And sometimes, like, if you live in the city, it's going to be more expensive because of theft. And I was like, okay, so my car, now mind you, my car's brand new. And I made sure to get a car that had anti-theft, like, devices inside of it. Like, systems built in place to where it's going to be 10 times harder for my car to get stolen, okay? On top of that, I have a dash cam. On top of that, I have a wheel lock. On top of that, I'm very fortunate. I'm moving into an apartment complex where they have such incredible security throughout the entire building and also the parking garage. Like, I literally don't think there's any way possible for someone to really do anything, okay? So I'm, you know, rattling off everything, and even regardless of that, nothing. There's nothing that I can do. So I am getting apparently screwed, not in a fun way, spending $240 a month. $240. What the fuck is wrong? Like, if I could go without a car, I would. Really, like, if I could say, screw it, I don't need a vehicle, I would do that. But obviously, we live in America, so we need to have that one. We apparently need one. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. What is this bullshit? I've checked with other car insurance brands. I've looked around and I'm like, let me just double check and see. No, this is literally the best, cheapest option that I could get. Dumb as shit.
So my auto insurance was up for renewal. I always dread that because I know it's always going to go up. I don't have any new tickets, no new accidents, no nothing. And it went up like $150. So I called the insurance and I was like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, oh, our insurance rates just increased. Like, okay, my wages haven't. I can't afford that. So I'm switching insurance companies. It's just like, then you get penalized for switching insurance companies because your rate is better if you stay with them longer, but then they keep raising your rates to make it unaffordable. And so you have to keep switching, and so your rate never goes down. But it's like, I can't afford $300 a month for insurance. That's twice as much as my car payment. Like, no. I'm working so hard to get my car paid off for this reason, but it's hard. I'm working 3 jobs. Like, I need a break. People need to stop coming for my money when I'm just trying to survive.
Excuse me if I look like I'm about to like break down, because I am. Tell me why my one tire completely blew off, leaving only the rim. And I'm calling my insurance and I'm like, hey, I need a tire replacement. And they're like, okay, well, you're on the highway, so you're gonna need to get a tow. And I paid $95 to get a tire replacement. Now I have to go through and get that reimbursed. And then on top of the $300 fucking dollars a month that I pay for my insurance, I had to pay over $200 to get this tow service. What the fuck is insurance for? Progressive, you're getting a call from me tomorrow. This is fucking ridiculous. I pay you guys over $300 a fucking month for me to still have to pay another $200 for the tow service. This is ridiculous. I'm also really fucking tired.
Why do Americans feel so entitled to tipping? Like, I said hi to you. You didn't say anything to me. You have a fake smile on your face. I bought one item. You expect me to tip. Yeah, let me tell you something. I used to be that type of person that feel guilty when I don't tip. Forget that. If you don't want to tip, you don't want to tip. Like, you didn't provide no service. You just cashed me out.
This might be controversial, but let's talk tipping culture. Because quite honestly, I'm so done with it. This week was a pretty rough week, and honestly, I just did not want to cook tonight. We do not go out to eat very often, like literally once, maybe twice a month. And this was an extra day in there that we were not planning on. But I honestly could not stomach the thought of cooking anything tonight. And we were not eating in the restaurant. I just went to pick up the food, and the tip defaulted to 25%. The 3 default tip options were literally 20, 22.5, and 25%. I do understand some restaurants that have like carside to go, tipping those because I know they're part of the servers and that's just their rotation. And don't get me wrong, I am not saying you should not tip, but the restaurants that literally just put the food in the bag and charge you, are you guys tipping? And how much are you tipping? Because the fact that it auto set to 25%, like that just it just makes me mad. That should not be the default for a to-go order where I do not have a server helping me with anything. Like, am I in the wrong here? Or do I need to think about this more? Or what are you all doing? Because or am I just in a bad mood? Because I am just kind of over the whole thing right now.
If you cannot pay for 20% on top of your meal, guess what? You can't afford to eat out. No one deserves to go out to eat. It is a privilege to be served. This is part 2 of my series, obviously with Avi, because common sense is not that common. And apparently a lot of these things are not obvious, so I'll be the one to teach you them. This is coming from someone that has worked in restaurants, cafes, I've been a barista, and I worked in fast food. So I feel very qualified to talk about tipping. The only place that I think you 100% have to tip, you 100% have to tip at a sit-down restaurant. If a server is coming to take your order and bringing you your food, you have to tip. The only times you don't have to tip at least the full amount is if the server was rude to your face, if the food did not come out in a timely manner and the restaurant did not comp the meal or did not give you something because it was late. Those are the only times you don't have to tip. But if the restaurant says, oh my God, this food is taking so long, here, have this on the house, or they take off whatever was taking so long off the bill, you still have to tip 20%. Okay? That's custom. If a server is bringing you your meal, it is coming out in a timely fashion, it is what you ordered. I don't care if the food sucked. The food has nothing to do with it, okay? You chose to go to this restaurant. Maybe the food was always sucking, okay? But if the food was brought out to you when it needed to be and the server brought you the food and there was no issues with that, you gotta tip 20%. I'm so sorry that the server did not ask how your day was. The server didn't do a backflip. The server wasn't talking about their birthday plans and summer plans with you. That's not part of the job description. I don't need to be a stand-up comedian to get 20% tip. Okay? I'm gonna approach you with kindness, give you what you need, and then send you on your way when you give me my 20%. That is standard. That is standard, I fear. I fear that's standard. Another thing that people don't realize is that servers do not get the full amount of a minimum wage. They will make the minimum wage for the amount of hours they've worked if their tips do not exceed that. If their tips exceed that amount, then they get to keep the rest. That is the incentive behind being a server. Another thing people don't realize is that when you get that 20%, it's not going just to the server. It's not going just to the server. You're tipping out your bartender, your barback, your hostess, your food runner. Like, you're tipping out everybody, the busser. So there is not the full 20% going just to one person, especially if you have like a, I don't know, $400 meal and you're like, oh my God, $80 to one person. They're not getting all of that, okay? So calm your horses. If you're having a $400 meal and you can't tip 20%, guess what? You can't eat out. Cafes and baristas. This is my thing with being a barista. At least at the place that I worked at, we did get paid minimum wage. So everything that we got tipped was extra. That being said, I worked the morning shift because cafes are open really early in the morning. And I knew that our tips were being pooled. That's how we did it at our place. If your reason as a barista is like, no, we deserve a tip because we get up really early, get a new job. That is not a reason to be getting tipped out. You chose to wake up at 4 a.m. to be there for the 5 a.m. shift because you wanted to be a barista for whatever reason. So, you don't deserve a tip because of that. So I will give it to people that you don't have to tip at every single cafe place, okay? This is the other thing with that though. I think you do have to tip if you're spending more than like $10, okay? If you're just getting a single coffee and it's like $4, you don't have to tip on that. You don't have to tip. Take your $4 coffee, whatever. If you're getting a $7 specialty drink, you don't have to tip on that. You don't have to tip on that. Like, go on, whatever. But if you get like a specialty drink and like a breakfast item and it comes out to like $12, I think you should tip at least $1. I think you should tip at least $1. So that's my like threshold for it. So with cafes, like a little different because usually they're all pre-made before the morning shift or they're like heated up during the shift. So the people that are working at the front are not getting tipped out for those things. So that's where I'm like, the tip can be less. I'll usually round up to a full dollar amount or I'll tip $1. So that's my thoughts on cafes / bakeries, baristas, tipping. Lastly, fast food. Obviously we don't tip at fast food. We do not tip at fast food. And you know what? Out of all those experiences, I should have been tipped. I should have been tipped at fast food. I did work at Chick-fil-A and out of, I'm assuming other fast food places, we probably had the best clientele, but still we would have some whack experiences that I was like, what? People throwing their food back through the window. I'm like, What did I sign up for? At the end of the day, for working in fast food and at a cafe, my thoughts are, I signed up for those jobs. I signed up for them at the time. I could have worked at In-N-Out. This was in California. I could have worked at In-N-Out for like $1, $2 more. I just didn't like the shifts. The shifts were into like the late morning, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be up working until like 1 a.m. at In-N-Out. I was a young girl at the time. I didn't feel safe. So knowing that, I worked at Chick-fil-A and at the cafes during that time. I knew that. I knew what was expected of me. I knew I had to be there at 5 a.m. to serve coffee to people that haven't had their coffee yet, and they're not the nicest people. So you don't just deserve a tip just because you're waking up early, but at the same time, you don't deserve to eat out just because you have money for the meal, okay? You can only eat out if you can afford the 20% tip. If you can't afford it, you can't eat out. No one deserves to go out to eat. It is a privilege to be served, okay? Those are my thoughts. I am a big tipper. I believe in good money karma. I believe in giving money and getting money in return. I donate as much as I can where I can. And I think most, if not all servers will agree with me that it is great money karma. When I go out to eat, I always tip 20% because I know that when I was serving, I also got 20% a lot of the time. Those are my thoughts on tipping. I feel like it's very taboo. I feel like a lot of people just think that they are paying just for the food and that's it. I'll only go to the places that I can afford to tip at. I know, what a concept. What a concept. I think also people just think that like they're deserving of everything. You are deserving of nothing in this world. Nothing. Nothing. You're deserving of respect. You are. But it's very disrespectful to not tip 20%. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts.
Let's talk about this. Some of you might be thinking to yourself, well, that doesn't look like a bad tip. Well, based on this total and even subtotal, it's a terrible tip. And I figured out exactly how this person did their math. Do you see that total right there? $160 for 2 bottles of Pinot Noir? My guess is this person decided to deduct that from the bill that they wanted to tip on. But why? Because if you're going to use that logic, then that means if you decide to show up and only drink wine that you don't want to tip. And you wouldn't do that. You also wouldn't go out to a bar and decide not to tip because, oh, well, that drink was really expensive. Why should I tip that? Let me tell you, because if you decide to stiff some bartenders, they will never serve you again. Like, that will happen. I'd also like to point out something that you might not know, which is most servers have to pay a tip out to their support staff. And while tip outs tend to vary from place to place, one thing that's pretty common is a lot of people have to tip out based on their net sales. I am one of those servers. So no matter what the guest decides to tip or not tip, I still have to tip my support staff out based on the net sales that I've sold for the night. The bartender, the expediter, the bussers, the food runners, and the hosts. So for that $30 I was shorted, that's going to come out of my pocket now. Is this making sense? So it's pretty simple. I understand that this may seem unfair to some of you, but you have to keep in mind that none of us are twisting your arm and forcing you to buy those bottles of wine. Of course I'm happy to serve you, and I don't expect the world's biggest tip, but tipping me like a little over 10% isn't gonna cut it. Because of what I just explained, that's why it's a big deal. And before any of you go in the comments and want to cry about how tipping is so unfair and blah, 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 exploitation of the consumer. And yes, we all kind of agree with you, but that's not the way the system works right now. Okay? Therefore, if you decide to go out to eat, y'all know better. You do, right? You do. Because if you don't want to pay that, I understand. You have an option to order takeout and pick up a bottle of wine at the grocery store on your way home. We don't want to keep having this conversation. Servers and bartenders, we don't want to keep arguing with you. You know what the right thing to do is, so don't screw us over because you want to save $30. Now that's coming out of my pocket. On that note, if you're still watching, thank you. And I'm going to go out for a drink. And I'm going to make sure to tip the bartender very handsomely because I, unlike these people, am not a cheap asshole. Have a good night, y'all.